Good morning, Powur Hitters. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. My name is Jared McAllister, your mentor and co-host, alongside my main man, Jonathan Brunasso. What's up, player? How are you?
Good morning, Jared. I'm doing great. We have an awesome turnout today. A lot of friends and family, and the culture is great, like you all can tell. So I'm pumped. I just got back from headquarters yesterday, which we'll cover here. I mean, there's so much goodness. March was one of the best sales months ever. Enterprise is kicking butt. There's some challenges in this industry, but we're going to get through, right? Power Vision Holder and freedom. There you go.
Right, baby. Let's rock and roll. Let's get into success stories, shall we?
Yeah, and again, today we're joined by the Tom Cotter, Rick Joseph and team, Solar Warrior Tribe, Powur Hitters. Everyone's welcome. You're all part of the team, so welcome, welcome. I do want to start off with a quick success story, and then we'll open it up to a few if you want to raise your hand or type in the chat. Success stories, though, we want to know where you got the lead from, not just that you got an install, what activities it took, how you got it, what you're going to keep doing, right? So drop some nuggets on us.
And possibly any objection that you may have had to overcome to get that deal. That always helps as well.
Totally. So I'm a little active in some of the solar Facebook groups, and I posted that I closed a lot of deals virtually. And this heavy hitter in Arizona, the call center for Sunrun, he messaged me and he looked into joining Powur. He joined after we Zoomed and I showed him a proposal, how good our cost of goods is. And then he sold a 25 kilowatt in Florida, cash with a brand new roof. Turns out he was in Vegas over the weekend. I was in Vegas. We had dinner with his family. I was holding his 2-year-old. We were, collaborating, and he's working on a 50 kilowatt in Las Vegas right now. So Emmanuel is a name that you all will want to look out for. He's a beast. So shout out to you, Emmanuel.
Anything else out in Vegas, Jonathan?
Oh, I might spend some more time there around Red Rock and Summerlin. It's nice. And hey, we kick butt in Vegas, everyone. 1 to 2 week, installs. You should definitely consider selling in Vegas. All right.
Very good.
Who else has a success story? Larry.
Yeah, I got a success story recently. I had a job from like 9 months ago that I had a lead on and came back around. I selected Marcus Baker. Marcus Baker made it happen, and so got my first deal going in Chicago, in Illinois, and also I wanted to shout out to Christopher Perez if you want to talk more about how great the Vegas market is. He's Mr. Sunday. I think he closed another one. So I want to do a shout out for him. Hey, Chris.
Nice work, Larry. Yeah, Chris is a great Vegas mentor.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, Wally, give us 30, 60 seconds of your success from the Philippines and closing deals and getting married. I mean, you're the best example of what a good mentor looks like here.
So if you guys haven't been following me on Facebook, I've been on vacation for 81 days in the Philippines, and I'm talking really vacation. I wasn't planning on working. What I found out when I got there is, and like 2 years ago when I was there was no Wi-Fi, no internet. This year they had internet. So I was able to get some work done. Now, keep in mind, I was on vacation, so I was not working, which means I wasn't soliciting leads. I wasn't making phone calls. I wasn't doing anything. And everything that I closed in the Philippines was all mentor deals. So I just opened my calendars. People wanted me to mentor. I closed them. So I wasn't working quantity. I was working quality. I was pushing an 85% close rate while in the Philippines. And I wasn't even tracking things. I just kept closing one after the other when I wasn't on the island somewhere. And so it was total surprise to me to find out that for the month of February and the month of March, that I was I was tied for #1 mentor with some of the people in this group, working like 20%, 25% of my normal capacity. So what I wanted to impart to you guys is, it's really you can work. You need to hustle, because we need to hustle to get our leads in. But once you get the lead in and you're in an appointment, you need to close that deal. because that's like if you're running a 10K marathon, you can't run out of gas, in the last half mile. You gotta finish it until that deal is signed and closed. You don't have money in the bank. So as much as we think we're all kick-ass closers, we should all try and become better closers. Watch videos, learn, train, do things, because when a deal is qualified and there's a need, there is no reason why they should not sign with you. They should sign with us, because all we're doing them is pointing them and guiding them into a direction that will be beneficial for them long-term. There's no guilt. You're giving them solar. You're giving them power. There's no guilt. If you don't close and they don't sign with you, you did them a disfavor.
Wow.
Think about that. You gotta close the deal. And if you can't close the deal, you're not making any money. So you can work all you want, which is what we want. We want to work as much as we can. But when it comes to doing it, you gotta close the deal. So like I was saying, I'm not much into contests, and Jonathan knows this. And we've been talking about this since the first. So when I first jumped in a month before the ending of that first Tesla contest, and I said, if I had a full month, I'll be up there with you. But I'm really not much of a contest. It was really an amazing thing to find out that I was number one. And also, I wasn't tracking this deal in Mexico because I was on vacation, until I found out about 2 days before deadline that I was up there, but everybody was like in the 140s. I think I was 135 or something, with 5 points for each mentor. Keep in mind, I didn't make 15 points on any of my personal sales. They were all mentor deals. So all I'm saying is, I don't track contests. I just work every day to the best of my ability. And being able to, this dream that I could be anywhere in the world and sell solar and make money, it's just phenomenal. I mean, this is the power dream that we all dreamed of. I mean, I never thought about this, but this is it, guys. We're sitting in it. Let's take advantage. And we are the number one. We'll close this thing. We'll keep making our dreams come true. I proved it. You guys can too.
Nice, Wally.
Wally, you inspired me, Wally.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
You're awesome, Wally. Keep it going. We're all following you on Facebook, so you better keep posting good food and travels and make it happen. Thank you, Wally.
Wine and karaoke. Don't forget that.
All right, let's do 2 or 3 more and keep it moving. So Chris Perez, let's go back to you for the Vegas market. What would you like to share?
Hi, I'm actually driving to Fresno to meet 2 clients, one at 12 and 1, but just closed a deal Sunday on the road while in San Diego, while you were in Vegas, Jonathan.
Nice.
I guess the client is a big nurse practitioner in Dignity Health, and she has a good network of like 20 medical professionals that she's referring me to. So just work with your market. And, one thing about Vegas is, we do 7-day installs, 2-week installs, and, our partners there are really great. Ambient, SolarX, Axel Electric, those top 3 installers are pretty much what we're working with. And our project manager there is phenomenal. Chrissy used to be Lanny, now she's in the north. But we just got, our system going in there. It's just the wheels are always just turning.
Awesome.
As far as Vegas, like what I said, systems are big. You do 20 kW systems, 25 kW systems. Wally said, you just got to close. You just got to close the deals. Get that money in the bank. As soon as you get that appointment, do a 1 close deal, get that going. And, we're providing service, and it's pretty much all from our install partners to power to our financing to everything of what we do as consultants and mentors. We got to make it happen. We just got to close those deals and make it happen. Whether it's a Sunday, whether it's a Saturday, or whether they want virtual or whether they want in-person appointments. So, and we'll be welcoming you in Vegas, Jonathan. I'm sure I'll see you more often in there.
That sounds great.
Well, it's an open market. There's a lot of homes being built. I'm trying an HOA partnership with the web community in Lake Las Vegas right now. It's still in the works, but it could happen. So partner up with communities, partner up with local experts, like what you always do in Claremont, in LA. You know, we do the same thing, just duplicate the success stories, duplicate what everybody does, and just make things happen. Thanks, guys.
Right. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. Nice work to you. Awesome mentor in Vegas. Let's go to Jordan Shaw, who was just recognized on stage last night at headquarters.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's crazy just to see it from the other side, to see all that, everybody on Zoom. So I closed the deal yesterday, as you know, and this was a referral from a neighbor that I installed, and his install only took 3 weeks. And so I was competing with a couple different companies, but one of the problems that this client had was bankruptcy in the last 3.5 years. And so he had failed basically with our other finance partners. And so we ended up going to Mosaic, ran him through Mosaic last night while I was at HQ. As soon as I went live, ran him, qualified him higher. And that Emily tells me that was the first Mosaic contract to go through. And I had done a change order with it too, because the client actually qualified higher. And than what we initially signed him up for. So switched it to a 25-year 2.49 and did a change order with Emily and sent it over, and he's off to the races. So that was a 16 kilowatt system. So I don't always do expansions, guys.
Wow. So Mosaic, ladies and gentlemen, has a higher qualification rate than some of our other lenders. So you have an opportunity to go back to your prior leads that didn't qualify and try to run them with Mosaic. Awesome. Awesome job, Jordan.
Thanks.
I got one, Jonathan.
Yes, Anthony, and then we'll close with Ramsey. Go for
So
it.
after learning from Jordan Shaw how to do expansion systems, I helped Adebayo from Javier Rodriguez's team, and he got his second system installed last weekend while I'm here in Hawaii, right? And then yesterday, while I was given this as a Tonga drummer warrior during their show, I had a client said I'm ready to sign, send them documents, and signed documents after the show.
From Hawaii.
From Hawaii, living the Wally world life, inspired by Wally.
So clearly you have to go to the Philippines or Hawaii, guys, to be successful. Just
tropic.
Just awesome, Anthony. Kicking butt, growing a team, selling deals, mentoring, closing deals from Hawaii. Aloha. Have fun out there, brother. Ramsey, most positive guy in the platform. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say, I wanted to give a big shout out to Cassie, who I recruited, and she's on my team now. And she's new in the industry, but she's going to be one of the leaders in the Brazilian community here in South Florida and Sarasota. And I just wanted to give her a big welcome and say that I'm just so happy to have her here. And I know she's going to do great things. She's actually watching. That's it.
Very cool. Welcome and good job growing the team, Ramsey. Good to see you, brother.
All right. Hey, and real quick, I just want to give a shout out. I saw Jack Perry's name mentioned by Larry in the chat box. Got his first sale. That is an awesome achievement. The first one's the hardest, but it's the first of many, my brother. So congratulations, Jack.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. We're a little behind, so I'm just going to breeze through a few quick updates and some dates for you. Congrats to all the sellers in March. It was our highest month ever. Check your newsletter, watch the CEO updates, look at the leaderboard here. So congrats to Larry, Chris Brunasso, Chris Perez, people building their business here. Chris, again, top 3 sellers. Wally Arita, of course, Chris Perez, JC Rangel, Lorenzo, Adam, Jordan Shaw, Luis Perez, David Perez, Cynthia, Anthony Bonilla, Ubaldo Torres over here in the personal sellers, the great Paul Leon, Zach Haynes, Corey Ventura, shout out. And I missed so many more, but this team kicks ass. You guys are all doing awesome for March. And of course, the Power Hour last night. Here's Charles on stage and Cynthia Alvidrez and Jordan Shaw. We were announcing after the business presentation, the winners of the Impact Journey contest to Mexico, build a home for a family in need, and then go ahead and celebrate. Ubaldo Torres on our team here under Solar Lily, and Crystal took first place. You know, he lost his mom recently. The family was important to him. This community was important to him, and he really did it for his mom. So beautiful story, and shout out to Ubaldo. Jordan Shaw, Paul Leon, Corey Ventura, you know, Mike Berg, Chris Brunasso, David Marcel, everyone here, Cynthia, Zach. Big props to you, JC, Kiara Smithy, of course. So last night was fun. Recording should be released soon. And of course, we always like to lead with giving back. We'll see more of this as the team goes down to Mexico, but we have slide decks for your homeowner presentations. We have donation links here. We let our customers know we give donations if that's what you like, or help your own charities, but we really want to strive for that. In my opinion, it's only going to come back to you tenfold. All right, future trainings. Today we have a great training at 12 o'clock. We have a Solar Sales Tuesday on powercalendar.com. I don't know if anyone out there knows if it's Mosaic or not, but that's my guess. We always have Enphase, REC, Sunlight, Solar Edge all over powercalendar.com. If you're new here, Thursdays, please take a 12 or 5 Pacific new consultant training. And then every Thursday, if you're one of the leaders here and you're looking to grow your business, this 12 o'clock Pacific, there's a Freedom Tour for Leaders, powerzoom.com. We're going to be building out those events like the June 4th event that we really have to get ready for. And then we announced, this is a little bit turned around. I need to delete that one. We have an orientation call. If you won the Impact Journey this Friday at 2 o'clock, check your email. More trainings to come. The Mexico build will be in May. And June 4th, this is important. June 4th, mark your calendar. Super Solar Saturday training, all markets across the country, one day from Arizona to Florida to Cali. We're going to be training the team. So get with your leaders and let's make that great. Power World, y'all been seeing the newsletters, July 15th and 16th. I hope to see you there. I hope to see you at the gala. We have the hotel pick now. Get your hotel room, get your ticket. Love to see you in Texas. It'll be the 2 most influential, impactful days to grow your business. Some people say I can't afford to be there. You cannot not afford to be there. Like, think about that for a second. You really should consider going to that. And much more in-person Power Calendar events to attend. And here is the little flyer for Power World. Okay. So I just want to set this up for a second, and maybe Charles can chime in here in a second, then we're going to hand it off to our CFO. But one of the differentiators about Power, as we all know, is the 4 ways to earn. And one of those ways is stock options. And I'm a true testament to that because I've been at eXp Realty for 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. They've been around for 13. I got stock at $4, $5, $6. Their stock went up to $30, $40, $60 on their stock. So I know what it's like to have multiple streams of income, and one of those being stock options. It's our differentiator here. We should lean into it when we attract and recruit others to join us. And it's literally one of the most awesome things that we have. So your first install, you're going to get some stock options here at Power. When you get someone to join, like Ramsey got someone to join, and they get an install, you're going to get some stock options. And then, you know, Michael explained this more, there's yearly performance goals. If you can achieve so many installs in a year, you can then get stock options. And there may be discounted options available when we go public. We'll see if there's another fundraising, you know, that's going to be coming soon, but I'm excited about it. I think the future of Power and a potential IPO is one of the ways it's really going to help impact us all, add value to our lives, add finances to our lives, add freedom to our lives. And Charles, I don't know if you have anything else you want to just add on why the stocks are so important here before we hand it off.
Yeah, who can predict what stock will actually be worth, right? And that's one of the benefits. I couldn't predict what Bitcoin would have been worth. You know, I have some options that are in the pennies. I'm excited about this as we get there. It's just a phenomenal opportunity to potentially create another really solid 4th stream of income. Jonathan, you covered it really, really well. I'm excited to hear how all of this actually works from Mike and Beth. And this is a good meeting. So thanks for putting it together.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. So just without further ado, I would love to introduce our CFO, our very own CFO, Mike. And we also have the head of administration, Beth. And in the background here, we even have the training manager, Irene. So Mike, I will hand it off to you, sir.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's really great to be here, guys. Fun to listen to how these meetings actually go and what goes on in the real world out there. I'm glad that we're having this conversation. It is an important part of Jonathan's vision and stock options for everybody, whether it's sellers or employees. We want everybody to feel an ownership in the company, and so it's really important that everybody understand how they work. And so I'm glad we're able to spend a little time to lay this out and answer any questions you guys might have. I've got a deck, Jonathan. I can share that. Is that okay?
Please do. I think you should be able to.
Is it showing up?
There it is.
All right. And thanks, Irene, for putting this together. This is much nicer and prettier than it would have been if I'd done it. So we'll cover the basics. Going to just jump into how stock options generally work for everybody, how they are issued at Powur for sellers in the comp plan, and then we'll just talk a little bit about how to exercise them, when to exercise them. We'll have a little session at the end to talk about maybe the future implications of the options that you guys will have. I've got to be a little careful in terms of speculation and in terms of how I talk about Powur's future. We all know what we expect and hope, and everything's expect and hope until it happens. So, but we'll certainly I can answer any questions the best I can at the end.
Mike, if you could hit slideshow on the top right.
Yes, thank you.
That'd be great. Yeah, and just to reinforce that disclaimer, guys, this is pretty proprietary, sensitive information. So let's keep it internal as much as possible.
So, and I apologize for this being ultimately too basic for some of you or all of you, because it really is the basics. But I just thought I wouldn't assume that anybody knew everything about them. So just to touch base on how they work and what they are. Stock options ultimately are a grant to someone for the right to purchase common stock in the future at an exercise price that's clarified in the option. And that exercise is, I'll get to that in a minute. The options for our seller and our comp plan are documented every quarter by Beth and her group. So they go through and they look for all of the installs, any new installs for new sellers, and then any installs for that seller's team that they brought on, and a DocuSign goes out, as you guys probably all know, and that grant, when you execute it and we execute it, is good to go and ready for you in the future to exercise. The vesting in stock option world, vesting essentially just means when does somebody have the entire right to exercise that option. And for this plan, your options are vested 100% when you get them. So unlike, say, employees, because stock options is a bit of a retention tool to help employees stick around and help us grow the business, they tend to vest over time. For you guys, when you earn them, they are ready to go and fully vested. The options will not expire unless you leave the platform. And if you were to leave the platform, there's a 90-day period to exercise the options before they terminate. So we can go into a little more detail on that, but they don't expire ever unless you are no longer connected with Powur. This you guys have probably all seen. I won't spend a lot of time on it. There's a couple of things that I'm going to go into this piece of it again on the next slide, so I won't go all the way through this slide, but this is in the comp plan, I believe. And I did want to clarify the yearly performance goals is not, I think we'll probably work on some of how we've got this, how we're stating some of this stuff. Essentially the yearly performance goal is a 1-2 year period of time from the beginning, from when someone joins the platform, 2 years from that anniversary. And if they have achieved 25 installs during that time, they'll receive 250 options. And then if that moves up to 50 installs and they get 50 in total in that 2 years, they'll get another 1,000 for a total of 1,250. The discounted options program, I had never seen that before until I saw this slide, till Irene pulled this together for me. And I don't know where that came from. That is not possible. So I'm going to have that changed. What is possible down the road, if we go public, is that Powur will be able to invite sellers into the friends and family. So an opportunity to buy the stock when it goes public. And that's a certain possibility. There's no such thing as discounted options when we go public. So we'll have to fix that. Again, I think I just went through this, just another clear depiction of what that first bonus opportunity looks like. It's over 2 years and 25 installs, 250, up to 50, you'll get a total of up to another 1,000 for a total of 1,250. So exercising options. If for some reason somebody wanted to exercise an option, there's no requirement to do so unless you leave the platform. So so setting that aside, anybody can exercise their option if they choose to. We have certainly had some employees and consultants who've gotten options over the years, who have exercised their options in the last couple of years since I've been here. And primarily they're doing it as a tax play because there'll be a capital gain between your exercise price and whatever that option ultimately turns into in terms of an actual stock. So if you were to own an option at the current price of $9.59 today, and it converts to common and we go public and the share price when we go public, let's just say it's $49.59, so $40 more, that $40 per share will be a capital gain that will get taxed when that conversion and exercise happens. So some people think that capital gains taxes are headed north. Probably not a bad assumption. And so they've chosen to go ahead and exercise their options and pay the capital gains either last year or this year before they start going up if they do. So it is entirely up to whoever, unless again the leaving the platform issue set aside. No need to exercise them, but you certainly have the right to do so whenever you'd like. If to exercise them, for now, just contact me. I will connect the people involved that will help us make sure that check gets to the right place and we convert your options to shares. So just reach out to me and I can remind you to mail a check to headquarters, but it's as simple as that. Just let us know you want to do it, and we'll confirm the amount that would be due, and a check to headquarters is all we need. The exercise amount of at any time is essentially the exercise price times the number of options that are being exercised. So pretty straightforward. When that happens, we handle all of our cap table management in a software solution called ShareWorks, and all of our shares are electronic. So we'll set you up with an electronic shares and access to the platform if and when you convert. And then if at some point we go public, or any liquidity event that might happen where your shares will be, your options will be exercised and converted to actual stock. In an event like that, there's nothing you'll need to do. So if we do go public at some point, then you won't have to do anything. It will essentially be handled by a transfer agent. The amount of your exercise price that you would owe will just be deducted from the final shares or distribution that you'll get at that point. So just to talk a little bit about the valuation and ownership of your options, at any given point, the exercise price of options is based upon the value of the company. Today, that share price is $9.59. That was based upon the capital raise that we did last summer and fall. So if you're out raising money and you're actually getting investors to come in and buy stock, that's a pretty good indication of what the market value is. And whenever that's going on, stock options will be revalued to that raise price. Some of you that might have been here might have remembered about a year ago, the exercise price went from $1.75 up to $6.85. And that was based off of a 409A valuation. 409A is the SEC code that governs stock option management. And so a 409A valuation is pretty common for companies out there. If at some point in their growth and maturity, it makes sense for a company to, in the first few years, we were basically just basing it off of capital raises that happened. But as you get a little bit further along and in your in-between raises, you have to have a valuation done every 12 months. And so we'll do another one of those here in the next quarter. And I don't know that the valuation will change a whole lot. This $225 million valuation that we applied to the capital raise last year and sold all of that stock was really based upon pretty close to our current volume. We're trending a little bit above it, but not a lot. So I don't think the valuation will change a whole lot this in the next couple months when we do that valuation. If you ever wanted, there was a question in there on what the percent ownership is of somebody's options, and it's obviously people have so many different amounts of options. It's a question that's hard to answer specifically, but just to make it kind of simple, you come very close if you divide the number of shares you have or could exercise to have into 25 million. That's approximately the number of shares we have outstanding, and that will give you the percent ownership that somebody would have in Powur. So as an example, if somebody had 250,000 shares, they would currently approximately have about 1% of the company. So some frequently asked questions. If someone were to leave the platform and come back, we will not terminate if there's no exercise in that 90-day period before the person returns. The options will not terminate. They'll pick right back up. That you'll still have them. So there's, in less than 90 days, leaving and coming back has no impact. Again, if someone leaves and comes back in longer than 90 days, then and did not exercise the options, then they will have terminated. So you'll be starting over. Yeah, I've already answered that question. How do I exercise the stock options? Just get a hold of me and we'll help you out. Do you early exercise? I've answered this question as well. So yes, at any time you can exercise your options. It doesn't put you in really much of a different place than you are with the options. It creates a tax event when you exercise your options. And so if you want that tax event to happen sooner than later, then you're welcome to do it. And there's a rationale for doing that. I think the thing to be careful about is, anybody who exercises options sooner than they have to are making an assumption that they're going to be worth more. We all believe they're going to be worth more. We wouldn't be here and doing all this, but there's that never 100%. And again, sellers' options are vested upon receipt. So answering some of the questions I've already answered. So some of the future implications, I'm happy to talk to and answer any questions. I don't know the future any better than anybody else, but I believe, Jonathan and the board all believe that at some point a public offering is in the cards, and we are marching towards that. We, as you guys all know, we're working really hard, investing a lot of the company's profit back into the business to make sure it's scalable, to get better and better at fulfilling your projects, doing them right, making our homeowners happy and referring us, and growing the business. So, and being able to do that in a way that delivers quality. So, there's a huge focus on that right now. And we honestly, there's not been a ton of talk around about going public. I think we've all just said, hey, let's put our heads down and get this thing right. And there's a board meeting tomorrow, and I suspect there'll start being some conversations because we had a great quarter. I think we probably don't have the month March closed yet, but we'll probably finish the quarter around 4 million over our planned revenue, and also EBITDA above plan. So, and we just, as Jonathan started off the meeting, we record contracts in March. So if everything keeps trending like it is, then I think there will start to be more conversations about our next capital raise. A lot of companies will do what's a raise called a Reg A as a stepping point into a public offering. I'm sure we'll talk about that, and whether we'll do that Reg A before we get into an IPO, I don't know, but I'm sure it will be discussed and it's a possibility. That's something Palmetto just recently did, and it's certainly a possibility for us. Any other questions I can answer about options or?
Yeah, Mike, thank you so much. I think this was very informative and answered a lot of questions that we all had, and we all picked up some answers to help our teams more. So thank you. I'll go through the chat here and go over a few. And if you do have some questions, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and type them in the chat. And so there was a question here. I think Beth may have answered it. Are stock options for personal sales or for team or mentor sales? So like earning the 2-year anniversary goals, for example, I think you have to be the consultant on that deal. You cannot be the mentor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Let me just keep going down here. And there was a little confusion that the 2-year anniversary, Mike, I guess a lot of us thought it was in 1 year you had to get those installs, but you're kind of alluding to the fact that it's really in the first 2 years if you were to hit those installs. Is that right?
Beth, do I have that right?
That's my understanding. Yes, you have 2 years and then it expires after 2 years of your join date.
Wow. So get those installs in as you, the consultant, in those first 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. I think I got one of those metrics, but that's awesome. Okay, cool. Keep going down here. Not sure if there's anything I missed, Beth. Larry asked, do we still have to DocuSign the stock option when it gets emailed to us? I would think yes.
Yes.
Yes, every grant, every
Yeah.
quarter. Yep.
Unless Larry, you want to send those to me, then that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that.
And someone asked, Isela, kind of, what do you mean by exercising them, converting them to shares? I think you answered the, do you have a value of the stock before it goes public? So I'm wondering, Mike, will there be another fundraise opportunity? It sounded like you said yes, may not look like a we funder, but do you envision in this year or next year a fundraise where we can all contribute some money?
Yeah, I doubt that we'll have a crowd fund type of round again, Jonathan. It's time consuming, and it kind of creates a pretty complicated cap table. I really think this last one was the intent was to kind of give that last shot for everybody to get some skin in the game, and a lot of people did. A Reg A, if we go down that path, is typically done with institutions. So like a Morgan Stanley or somebody like that would be our partner. And I don't know that there would be an opportunity to participate in that. If there was, it would probably be a 25,000 plus
Contribution
requirement.
Okay, good to know. So go out there and build those teams and get them to install to get some more stock options. And on that point, someone asked if I referred someone to Powur, they sell a deal, install a deal, and then they leave Powur, do I still earn those stock options on that person?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, Beth said. Okay, good.
Yes.
And I know a few of us asked, could the stock split before an IPO? There's kind of some notion that it could essentially split us before it goes public. Do you want to speak on that?
No, I've never heard of that happening. A stock split is really more of a tactic by public companies to drive down the share price. So a stock split just creates more access for people to buy the stock at lower prices. And that's often the rationale for doing it. But I cannot imagine a scenario where there's any sort of stock split before it goes public.
Thank you. And then my brother asks, the price that's at $9.59, that could increase here in the next year or two, perhaps, or?
Yeah, so it will never change the exercise price of the options you have. So whatever exercise price is on your grant, when you got that, going back to the $1.75 days, and even earlier than that, I think it might have been 34 in their first year or so before my time. But in any case, that exercise price in an option grant never changes. It is conceivable that there will be a change in the future, that with new options, I would say probably the soonest that would happen, we'd probably try to tie that to a quarter end so it's not make Beth's life miserable with two different prices in the middle of a quarter. So it wouldn't be before June 1st, I wouldn't think. And again, I don't think there will be I'd be surprised if there was a substantial change from the 959.
Are the 2-year shares, the 2-year for those metrics, the shares that are issued based off of the price from when you joined, or the price it's offered at the end of the 2 years?
It has to be when the price of at the time the grant is made. When
you earn it and then it's issued is mine. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, when that grant is made and executed with someone, an option grant, whatever the option exercise price is at that time has to be what's in the grant.
Someone asked, Mike, are dividends, do those apply here to us, vision holders or some stockholders here, dividends?
So it wouldn't apply to any option holders at the, currently. There are, I think, some shareholders that participated in earlier rounds that might be accruing dividends. There's a dividend, likely isn't going to be paid in any time in the near future.
Okay.
But if a dividend were to be paid and you were in one of those earlier preferred rounds, investment rounds that we did, series 1 through 4, and you would know if you did, then those shareholders do accrue dividends and would get them if they were ever declared by the board. But there's, from an option perspective, the only dividend connection would be one day if your options were exercised, we were a public company, and you held on to your stock for a while and dividends were declared down the road.
Right.
That's probably the only possibility, and that's a long way down the road.
Got it. A lot of questions, either how to contact you or how to find out how many stock options one has. Is that going to be more support at powur.com, or is that going to be your email, Mike?
So, one great thing, Beth can maybe speak to this a little bit. My email is happy to help anybody who needs it. We are at some point we've been pushing it. We've clarified what it's going to look like. We just haven't built it yet. We're going to have all of this laid out in powur.com for the sellers, so that they've got a dashboard on their options, what options they have at what price. Their documentation will be accessible through there. So it's coming.
Great. And me personally, guys, any email from Beth or DocuSign or stock, search your emails, save those in a folder, and I download the PDFs, and I have a folder of every PDF of every stock option. So I can go look right now and tell you how many PDFs I have. So try to organize those in the meantime until it's built into the platform. And then someone asked, Mike, if our legal name is not on the stock option DocuSign, could that be an issue, or how do we get that changed if we need to?
No, when we get to a point that a public offering or any sort of liquidation is coming up, we're going to have plenty of notice that that's happening. It's, an IPO is probably at least a 12-month process from the time we say we're targeting a date. So if we're going to target July 1st of 2023, we got to pretty much be started by July 1st of this year. So that gives us a year. And one of the big pieces of that process during that year will be to clean up things like that and make sure we've got, there will be a transfer agent involved who will help us kind of get all that stuff straightened out. So there'll be time to do that.
Okay. And for those of us that did invest during the last crowd fundraise, if someone invested 20K, how many stocks do they own? I guess, how do you calculate that?
If you divide 20,000 by $9.59, you would have the number of shares that you own.
Okay, so that crowd fund was based on 959.
It was, yep.
All right, great. And then just to reinforce, David Perez, you mentioned we don't have to exercise the options as long as we're active. I guess a few of us were under the impression, or even the verbiage on the DocuSign itself kind of implied some sort of expiration or 12 months. So you're saying as long as we're active, our options stay with us?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know, Beth or Irene, if there's anything else as I missed here. And if someone wants to put Mike's email in the chat, I believe Michelle Bunt already did. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, and then Lily asked kind of a good question here. Do you advise to pay the stock options now or before the IPO, or maybe when?
I don't give advice.
Yeah, not a financial advice.
Yeah, I really can't. Yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah, I'm sorry.
But just to clarify that, it doesn't matter whether we did it then or now, because we're gonna buy it at the option price that we got it at. That does not change.
That's correct. Yeah. The
So it could
only
be
thing
3
that,
years in the row, 3 years down the road, and we're $200 a share, and we still have that $8 option. We're able to exercise at that 8, and we would just pay the capital gains on whatever that is at that time.
if we go public, you'll have to exercise that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll still get it at the price of
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So at that point, if we went public, it would be your choice. If there's no lock-in period that would require a option holder to hold them, which there probably wouldn't be, then a option holder could exercise and sell that stock immediately upon the public offering and take the cash and pay the capital gain and be done with it. If someone chose to convert it and just hold on to it because they want it to long-term investment for them, then there would be a tax event on the value of the stock at the time of the exercise, and then from there on out, there wouldn't be any implications until the stock was sold. So, yeah, the only impact that anybody would want to consider really in terms of exercising before a liquidity event or public offering would be tax implications. And you should talk to a CPA and make sure you cover that if that's something you want to address.
Mike, I have a quick question. For those of us getting to our 2-year anniversary and calculating the number of personal sales at that time, what would be the option price? Would it be the price at our 2-year anniversary? It
would be, yeah, it would be the price when the options are granted to you. So, yeah.
Okay. So anybody how about anybody that's done 50 sales prior to their 2-year anniversary? Would that have been achieved at the
if somebody has hit their 50 sales before their 2-year anniversary, we can absolutely accelerate that grant so that to somebody now when that happens. Right, Beth? Is there any reason we can't do that?
So yeah, let's say some people have done 25 sales before their 2-year anniversary, and so is it up to us, Beth, as a question, to pursue that with you, to say, hey,
yeah, feel free to pursue that with me. And we do have a dashboard coming, and then it's going to show your 25 installs, and it'll naturally trigger. But currently, right now, it's more of a manual process. So follow up with me if you have hit that, and we'll make sure it gets issued.
Just to clarify, not for you specifically, Bill, but that's only for your personal sales, not your mentor sales.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
So yeah, I would reach out to Beth as soon as you believe you've hit either one of those numbers. The exercise price is not going to go down.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to end it. Let's see if we can get Beth's email in there. But Mike, I just want to say a huge thank you for leading the way as a CFO for this company, everything you're doing behind the scenes. We actually get to see a face to the name and the title. And of course, Beth Robinson, first appearance, Beth, I think on a Zoom in a long time, but glad to see you here. And all your support, guys. She works her ass off, and she's been here since the beginning. And just huge kudos to everything you do and all the emails you've answered for me. And of course, if Irene's still on here from Colorado, training manager that helps support this as well. So thank you very much, Beth, Mike, and team. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us here. It's our pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone. With that,
Thank you.
have a great day. Go have a good week. Let's sell some deals, earn some stocks. Let's go.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.